I'm Rebecca Lavoie, and this is the Readathon. Here with my original Readathon partner. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Kevin Flynn.
Yes, my husband, Kevin, and the person with whom I gossip about all things Karen Read every day.
Yes, and she's like, I know you're busy, but
you got to give me 10
do you
minutes.
have 10 minutes?
You
I'm like,
got it.
All right, fine.
All right, Kevin.
Yes.
Something happened.
What?
Do you remember who Kelly Dever is?
Dever?
Dever, yes.
Yeah, she was the Boston police officer who previously was an officer in Canton and was grilled by the defense because she apparently had told the FBI many a moon ago that she saw Brian Higgins, ATF agent Brian Higgins, and the police chief of Canton spend a, quote, weirdly long amount of time in the Sallyport being near Karen Read's car, and then retracted that statement and said on the stand that it was a false memory.
That's right.
And it was a big deal, in part because not only did she sort of quarrel over about how her name was said, more on that in a second, but it certainly, jurors later said that they found that very off-putting, and in a case where a big part of the issue is whether or not you can believe the police, acting fucking squirrely over stuff like that didn't help.
Right. So
did I get that right?
You got it mostly right.
Okay, mostly right.
All your details were right. So she attended that meeting with the FBI with counsel for the Boston Police Department, with one of their lawyers. Okay. And then you might remember she testified that she was not directly, but indirectly, meaning her bosses got the note, called to come into the commissioner of the Boston Police's office. That's Commissioner Cox. And he told her to, quote, do the right thing.
Now, are these two different events?
They're two different events. She
all right.
met with the FBI and then she met with the police commissioner who summoned her. She says, I didn't get that directly, but as I learned watching some incredible cop law tubers today, it just means her command got the note. Come on in. She met with him alone, she says.
The commissioner met with the commissioner alone.
Yes, this is a rookie Boston cop. She'd been with the police for a year in Boston.
And this was between trial 1 and trial 2.
This was between the FBI meeting and trial 1.
Okay.
And he told her if she was going to testify, he said to do the right thing. And she saw that as a sign of leadership and a sign that she should tell the truth, which was that she had in fact created a false memory of talking about this at the FBI.
But am I not correct saying that she was asked by defense counsel whether or not he said to do the right thing? She did not volunteer that.
She volunteered that, but then they said, what does that mean?
Right. Well,
basically the implication is, and it's pretty clear, that she had one story that she told the FBI. She then met with the head of the Boston Police Department, and all of a sudden, she has a different story. Now, to be fair, what her excuse is that she then found out that she was no longer on shift when she says that happened, so it couldn't have happened. Many people have pointed out, by the way, that you are very often, if she was working very, very late into the day the next day, which she was, she may have started shift again, or she may just still have been there and been clocked out. It doesn't matter.
How long was Karen's SUV at the Canton Police Department?
A really long time.
So it might not have happened that day, but I'm pretty sure that at some point, that's what she saw. That's why she said that.
Yeah.
She didn't the defense didn't put that in her head.
No.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So yesterday, the governor of Massachusetts, Maura Healey, and Boston Police Commissioner Michael Cox were doing a press avail after something. It doesn't fucking matter.
Okay.
And here's an exchange that a Boston television reporter had with Commissioner Michael Cox.
Your name came up during the recent Karen Read trial. You got a visit from Officer Kelly Dever. The defense implied that you influenced her testimony. Do you want to respond to that?
I have nothing to do with Karen Read. Matter of fact, I didn't even know this person was associated with the Karen Read case. I have an organization full of over 3,000 people, and we support all our folks. And the reality is that I get information passed on, whether people are high or low, and I encourage everyone, right? And if you're going to work here and you belong here, then we're going to encourage you. I have no idea what they're talking about with Karen Read. It had nothing to do with Karen Read. No discussion about
Did you tell Officer Dever to do the right thing?
I didn't know she was even associated with that case. So, I don't know. I was struck, like, what do I have to do with the Karen Read case? I never have said those words together. And so the fact is, it's much to do about nothing. We have employees here that we have to develop and encourage and do things, and I do that for tons of our employees.
Do you feel that you were inappropriately drawn into this as some sort of boogeyman?
That case is over, and we've got a lot of other stuff to talk about. I have nothing to do with Karen Read. I was in the state of Michigan.
Hear that little detail he threw at the end there? I was in Michigan, the state of Michigan. What the fuck? Anyway, Kevin, thoughts?
So it sounds like the commissioner is saying, I never met with Kelly Dever.
Or he met with her, but he had no idea she was connected to the Karen Read case, or that's what they were talking about. Or he's distancing himself from what you said on the stand.
Well, somebody's full of shit then, because he definitely... Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is a good look. But by the way, does this mean that he said her name right, or she didn't say? No idea.
Also, by the way, note that he said the Karen Read case is over. We have nothing to do with it. A Boston cop is dead, and a Boston cop stands potentially accused of having done it, but it has nothing to do with him.
And another Boston cop said you told her
a newish Boston cop.
You talked to that officer and
about her testimony
one way or the other, whether or not you were encouraging her to really tell the truth or you were sending a secret message that remember the thin blue line bullshit. I find that really, all of this is troubling. You can't believe anything the particular cops in this case have said. So I don't know why the commissioner would be any different. I think that Kelly Dever. Fuck her, Dever. I think that she did meet with the commissioner. I think all that. The logical conclusion at this point is that the commissioner needs to cover his own ass, and he has been implicated indirectly in trying to influence the testimony of a police officer. And if that sticks to him, that's really bad. That's bad for him professionally, and it's not a good look for the department, which has already got a black eye from a lot of what's happened here. So who's full of shit? I think they both are.
Yeah. So let me just throw this out there.
Yeah.
A cop now who'd been on the Boston police force for now 2 years, would she lie about what the police commissioner said to her in a private meeting or that she had a private meeting? I don't think she would. I don't think she would lie about that. That's a way bigger risk than whether or not she says she made up a false memory or not, in my opinion. That being said, I don't think he thought this would make news when he said it. I think he probably
when
thought...
he said he gave these comments?
Yeah, I think he probably thought, I'm just going to dispel this right now, say it never happened or whatever. I think that he maybe underestimated the impact that Kelly Dever had on the public and what she said had on the public. I'm not saying for sure that he didn't know, but do you think if he knew he was going to make news that this is what he would have said? Probably not.
I think he probably would have workshopped a better answer.
I was in the state of Michigan. When were you in the state of Michigan? What day did she say you had this meeting?
I think he said he was in Michigan when John O'Keefe was
killed. I was in the state of Michigan. Who knows? What a weird detail to add at the end.
No one is saying that you went and were part of that part of the cover-up.
No one's saying you threw taillight on the ground, sir.
Yeah, but it certainly seems like that you did the thing where you were trying to tell somebody to protect the people in the case.
Or just be cool, lady.
Yeah, because one of your officers is dead, and another one of your officers is being, I don't say implicated, but is accused of being the actual culprit. And see, the thing about confronting her with the fact that, when you talk to the FBI, you had the whole Boston Police Department legal team there. We can assume that information got to the defense from the FBI.
It did. And they noted when she was on the stand that she didn't have her own personal lawyer.
Right.
She had a Boston PD lawyer with her.
I'm unclear about this particular incident, where that knowledge came from. Because if it's a private meeting between Officer Dever and the commissioner, and just the two of them know this, then how did the defense find this out?
I actually think I know the answer to that. I did some research. I watched her testimony again today from beginning to end, her cross-examination. And they talk about a phone call she had with the defense team. I believe she mentioned this in that phone call she had with the defense team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Well,
and then she says they threatened to prosecute her with
perjury?
For perjury. And he had to be like, we can't prosecute you we can't charge you for anything.
Do you know how the fucking law works?
Yeah. But then she was sort of rehabilitated on that by Hank Brennan. But anyway, yeah. This was fucking weird, though, what Cox said, right? People are losing their minds. And I am.
Yeah. I mean, certainly because you brought it back up, and put it back in the public conversation. And, while Karen Read's guilt or innocence has been adjudicated, the questions about the conduct of law enforcement around it remain. There continues to be fallout. And this was the perfect time to ask about it because all of the other cops that were involved with the investigation have been fired or reassigned.
Right.
With the last of them very recently. So, yeah. And by the way, public official absolutely needs to answer that question.
Yes, exactly. And I give the reporter a lot of credit for asking the question in that way and then making news out of it because as I've been complaining this whole time that mainstream Boston outlets have been covering the wrong aspects of this case.
Yeah.
Talking about the horse race between conspiracy versus police. Bullshit. This story is about corruption, period, and it has always been there on its face. And it's finally making news, and I, for one, am relieved.
The only note that I would have is if I were that reporter, my follow-up question would have been more direct. It would have been, so you're saying you never met with her? Because that's what you want clarity on, and that's your soundbite.
When do you think the statement's coming out to clarify? At some point, there's going to be a statement, right?
I suppose so, yeah.
Kevin, thanks for giving me 12 minutes of your time. I know I said it would be 10, but I super appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
Obviously, this has been the Readathon, and we will be back when there's more to say. And I'm guessing there will be.
Partners in Crime Media.